my previous newsletter, you saw the before and after videos of a property I own in Mullingborough at 215 Evergreen Drive. 3-bedroom, 2-bath rancher. Let's talk about the analysis of that, how I bought it, my financing, what I've rented it for. It was an REO, bank-owned property. I bought it for $90,000. I borrowed from a private lender. And again, let's talk about the differences. People think private money is hard money. For me, there's a difference between hard money and private money. Hard money is 3-4 points up front, 12, 13, 14%. I'm not saying there's not a place for that, but it's expensive. Private money to me is your dentist, your doctor, someone who has money sitting in a CD, a self-directed IRA collecting dust, and you can offer them 5 or 6% and with a secured loan because they have a first lien on the property and they're happy. So in this case, I have a private lender who happens to be a retired police officer. He lent me $100,000, so I bought this with nothing out of my own pocket, plus I had some money left over for closing costs and to start the rehab. And he lent it to me at 5.5% with no points. And not only that, since I had to rehab it before putting a tenant in there, he agreed to delay the first payment 5 months. So the interest accumulated for 5 months, at which time I already had a tenant in there. I borrowed from an unsecured line of credit another $20,000 to finish the rehab, which you saw in the last video. My GC, Adam Cool, did a wonderful job on that property. A lot of wow factors. So I am paying him, it's a 3-year note, by the way, by which time I will just, because you need to season it. The leases have to be generally 6 months to a year, probably a year before you can refinance it at 80% of the appraised value. So they're in there now about 4 or 5 months. So sometime next year, I'm going to refinance him, cash him out of the $100K, have a long-term amortized loan in there, and then hopefully he'll say, let's take that money, recycle it into another property, because he's very happy getting 5.5%. He's invested in 4 properties with me. I love the guy. I'm taking him out to dinner. I put somebody in there, have a tenant in there at $1,650 a month. What I do with my tenants, by the way, is I have a separate checking account for each of my properties. One overall business account and then separate accounts for each property so I can keep everything straight. My tenants have the account number for that account and only for that account. But deposit only. They go to the bank on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of the month. They deposit the rents. This way I don't have to worry about they're putting the checks in the mail. Did they really put the check in the mail and the dog ate the check? They go to the bank. They make the deposit. I see it instantaneously online. At $1,650 a month, I have a positive cash flow of in the ballpark of $400 a month. My private lender is getting, I forget what the payment is. I think it's $458 a month because he has several loans with me. But whatever he's getting. I'm paying the taxes quarterly. I have a positive cash flow of $400 a month. The property's appreciating. In about a year, I'm going to cash him out. He'll recycle the money. And that's the way I roll.